Mark Cuban said whenever he bought the Mavs that he wanted to sell an experience. And, he went above and beyond to do that, not just a show, but an experience. And I took that to heart, and that's what I'm going to try to do.
Hello, Cheerios. This is Cheers to Business producer Johnny Gwynn. And Karen is still out spending summertime with her family, and I get to go on location to Gamers and Geeks on Moffett Road and talk to owner Tommy Wetjen in this episode. And we talk about building a pop culture business using community, technology, and people's passions to fuel your brand. And not to mention some breaking news for people in this area who miss local wrestling. So stick around and listen to this show with Tommy Wetjen of Gamers and Geeks.
Hey, I'm Karen. I'm a former CPA, entrepreneur, business consultant with big ideas.
Welcome to Cheers to Business.
Tommy Wetjen, welcome to your building.
Well, thanks for having me here in my building today.
So Gamers and Geeks, give me the 30-second elevator speech.
So we're the coast's largest game store, 26,500 square feet. We do card games, board games, dice games, miniatures. We have a retro arcade in the back. We have Dungeons and Dragons rooms. We've partnered up with Engage Gaming, who has a full LAN center with 20 high-end PCs, virtual realities, PlayStations, Xbox.
Now, that's not your company. You're renting space to them.
We partnered with them.
And you're renting space. A part of your partnership here is Cheers to Business friend. Scotty White has Scotty's Toy Shop in here. So you've created the shell, and then all of these wonderful things of geekdom are coming in with gamers, toy stores. You have comic books, I saw.
Comic books.
And roughly, I'm guessing this was a grocery store
it used to be
one time.
Winn-Dixie.
This used to be, because it's huge, guys. This building is massive, and it's filled with, if you love Marvel and DC and anime and what are some of the big the big games people play?
Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer 40K, Star Wars X-Wing, Star Wars Legion, Marvel Crisis Protocol. We have ton of board games.
So you've created a magic wonderland for people who love to do this.
It's nerd Disneyland.
And them to play here. They do tournaments. They hang out here. This is the hangout.
Yeah, we have seating for like 250 people. We have RPG rooms where you can just rent. It doesn't cost anything. Role-playing games. Yeah, so Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder.
I saw a Vampire
the Masquerade.
So, Tommy, you grew up in the world of geekdom. Are you from Mobile?
Yeah, from Mobile. I'm kind of a closet nerd, so I really didn't have a whole bunch of geekdom in my life growing up.
But you loved it. You just didn't tell anybody about it.
Well, no. Unfortunate circumstances in childhood growth. I wasn't able to experience as many of the geekdom things that I liked. But the stuff that I did, which was Dungeons and Dragons, and a little bit of Pokemon as growing up, I always liked it. With Pokemon, I was like, wow, everybody loves this. This is something I could get that I could trade for other things. And I would.
That's right, a currency.
Yeah.
People don't realize those Pokemon cards, quite collectible.
Definitely a currency. And then Dungeons and Dragons I just loved. I'd play till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Now, you're a dungeon master?
No, I just like to play more than
that's way too much fun.
Yeah.
The Dungeon Master is someone that takes on a lot to be able to put that game together and understand everything.
And I'm the person who wants to mess up their plans, right? Like I'm the person the Dungeon Master hates. Hey, everything points you need to go this way. I'm going to go the other way.
So Tommy's an impish elf. Always.
I'm usually a drunken dwarf. But
oh, there you go. Fantastic. This place is fantastic. And I want to end this interview earlier than I want to, because I want to hit the 80s style arcade you have here with Galaga and the 90s Mortal Kombat. All of them. Pinball games. And it's dark and gloomy, just like Aladdin's Castle was when I was growing up.
Aladdin's Castle, man. That's exactly what we wanted to do.
It's great, guys. I mean, it really is. It's off of Moffett Road, Mobile, Alabama. There's this wonderful world where there are people who play games. I saw a bunch of different ages. So what are the age ranges here?
I mean, everywhere from like little kids that come in that are probably like 6, 8, 10 playing Pokemon or just collecting Pokemon. I know a lot of people who learn how to read off cards.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, it makes sense. So they're engaged
in it. All the way up to adults like you and I just,
cool,
man.
Games. It's a phenomenal place, and it gets to the idea of you have a business, but you've also created a clubhouse. This is a community of people who love this stuff.
The unique thing you'll find out about Gamers and Geeks, just like what you said with a community, is we know what we are. So most game stores think that they're one of two things. They're just a mom and pop game store, someone who likes to game and they just created a shop and they don't really know a whole lot about business, and it's more just like a clubhouse or something for them. And then you have the collectible person. You hear the words buy, sell, and trade a lot. They want to buy low, sell high type thing, and they're more business savvy and more aggressive. We're kind of both.
You're a hybrid.
But mainly I'm in the entertainment business. I'm buying for your entertainment time. I'm buying for your entertainment dollar. I'm here to entertain you. So that's why we do like the little conventions that we do. That's why we do free tournaments. I gave a Mustang away in 2019, a Mustang GT in a tournament.
Wow. So what was the game?
It was Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering, which is still huge, right?
It's very huge.
Man, that is amazing. And then I just heard that the Incredible Hulk,
Lou
Ferrigno.
Yeah, we're going to have Lou Ferrigno here.
So what you're doing is like you're like I said, you're in the entertainment business. Yeah. You sell all this wonderful pop culture accoutrement, and then you bring in these heroes to your shop. It's probably a fee to see them. It's free.
So it's free to come to the shop. Now, if you want to buy something from the celebrity.
Or get a signature,
Correct. That costs according to what their rates are. But in order to get in the store, it's free. So, we just want more people to experience what it is that we do and what it is that we love. So some people may spend, thousands of dollars on a marketing campaign. We spend thousands of dollars to bring in a celebrity that not only helps with our current clientele, but also reaches out and gets us even more people introduced to our brand.
Yes.
It's almost like a customer appreciation type thing.
I think it's great because I'm 50 years old. I grew up when the Incredible Hulk was on TV. Lou Ferrigno, a huge TV star. And maybe I'm not into gaming. Maybe I'm not into comic books, but I love that show. You're saying, hey, you have a place here. Come see your hero from the 70s, Lou Ferrigno. That's awesome. About how many people show up? I'm sure it changes with each person you bring in.
It does. I'm really super excited about Lou. We've had tons of other ones come in before, and I've met them, and some of them, I may not have watched that particular show or something like that. I knew who they were, but maybe I didn't know that well or something. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to fangirl over Lou Ferrigno. like I know what's going to happen. So most of these we've done have been like in the midst of the pandemic. So a lot of them we had to require temperature checks before they came in, and everyone had to wear face masks and stuff.
And you couldn't get close to anybody, and you want to get close to your heroes.
We had to space out the tables and stuff accordingly. So now that that's kind of starting to be lifted, the last event we did, we broke over 1,000.
Whoa,
which is
but again, you've got the room here.
Right. So
that's big megaplex, man.
That's in comparison with other like local conventions and stuff. Now, the difference is other places charge for entry fee and we're not. Right. So our entry fee is free. So we just fill up the parking lot and people will come in and they just do their thing, and like we have tons of vendors here. There's usually like 30 or 40 vendors and artists here.
That's right. And that's part of your community. It's not the customer side. You have vendor partners that add value. So when those customers come, there's things that you don't have to carry in inventory.
That's right.
They're here and they're available, and you trust these people because they know their stuff really well.
Exactly.
People, listen to what I'm telling you out there. Tommy has got a great model. You create an event. You create something that you would go to and can bring people, and then that's your marketing. Okay, that is your marketing. And the idea is that event draws that foot traffic. Every business, unless you're an online store, needs to have foot traffic. Old, new customers coming in, seeing what's available. Look, I can imagine, let's say a 35, 36-year-old guy or a mother coming in here, not realizing what's here and going, this is a great place for my kid to come to. Look what's here. I didn't even know this existed. Do you see a lot of that?
Oh, yeah.
Parents going, hey, what's the kid policy here? Because I know you can't drop the kids off.
Yeah. I mean, some parents do if their kids are old enough to handle themselves.
What would the age cutoff? Like 13, 14?
We don't. Every kid matures differently, so we don't say here's what you can do. Here's what you can't.
You play by the rules.
Right.
You can stay.
Right. The parents feel that. We're obviously not a sitter. We're not a daycare.
And you're not getting paid for it.
Right. But if the parents feel that their child is good enough to be dropped off for an hour or so, to
That's
play,
awesome.
then we allow it to happen. That's how we want it to be. We want it to be a very welcoming community as far as that goes. So, we actually have our mission statement up on the wall. A lot of it has to do with being accepting of everybody, no matter where they come from stuff. Because overall, this is a place of fun. This is where you come to escape, life's problems or anything like that. So, whereas people become very passionate about their game, we want them to know that first and foremost, it's a place of fun. So as long as it's inviting and fun, you can come here and game for free. But if not, then, if you start to get upset about the game or something like that, like, hey, look, I'm glad you're this excited about the game, but this is a place of fun. So make sure other people are having fun as well.
When I came here for the first time a couple months ago, it reminded me of when you were young and I grew up in the 80s. You would go to the roller rink and hang out there and skate, even though you're not skating, but they had video games there. And then maybe there was a movie theater next to it, and you could go there. You kind of going in between, and then there was a couple food places around there. So you kind of created this like all-in-one kind of stop. And you kind of have that building here on Moffett Road at Gamers and Geeks. Now, when did Gamers and Geeks actually start? Was it pre-pandemic?
So it's been open for 10 years. I bought it almost 6 years ago.
Was it this big though?
No.
Okay,
So it was on Old Shell Road. It was smaller, and then when I purchased it, they'd moved to Moffett Road, and it was 5,500 square feet when I purchased it. And then I ran it there for about 3 to 4 years. And I was searching around for a bigger place. I was looking for like maybe 7,000 to 10,000 square feet because we were at like 5,500 at the time.
And you just said, screw it, 35,000.
It's 26,500 is the number I landed on. And yeah, I just came out like, it's really close. We could do this, we could do that. And I started trying to figure out how I could make it work. And I had an awesome agent that worked with me. And the landlord and everything has been like very, very
I'm sure they
helpful.
were ecstatic to rent 26,000 square feet of what used to be a grocery store because that world has changed so much.
Yeah. And just in getting something in this shopping center, like there wasn't really anything really big here. So now in September, there will be a grocery store.
Because there's foot traffic. I mean, again, that's the network world of, hey, I've created some excitement here. Look what's happening, and someone else gets to see what's there, and then you have that symbiotic relationship.
It's like a little geographical, location now, right? So now we're going to get even more busy off of that because that's going to be here. So people are just going to wander over. Hey, what's this place? And
that's cool.
I think that's going to be good for everybody.
Gamers and Geeks, this is a cool place, guys. Just come check it out. There's some great stuff in here. The 80s arcade, just come for the 80s arcade. I'm telling you, it's fun. It's phenomenal. But Scotty White told me, Tommy Wetjen, that you have purchased or in the process of purchasing something dear to my heart, and it is in the world of entertainment. Can you tell me what project you are working on right now that I was told you were trying to acquire?
So Scotty spilled the beans, huh?
He spilled the beans, and I came a running.
All right. Well, within the past couple of weeks, have acquired a wrestling company.
Oh my God! Okay, a regional, local.
So it was a CWL.
CWL
out of Mississippi, Combat Wrestling League. It was in business for about a year before I purchased it.
Okay.
So, but I got a trailer in my yard that's got CWL logo over it with a ring in it.
So you have your own. First of all, you have your own wrestling ring and pyrotechnics,
and the pyro and the lighting and stuff. Okay. Their Facebook page, all that good stuff.
So you acquire their assets.
Yeah.
But I want to ask the question: when someone says, "What do you actually buy?" Well, you buy the brand.
Yep.
Is there contracts for the wrestlers?
No.
So a blank slate.
He gave me a list of all the talent that worked with him.
Right.
So
it's like freelance.
we're definitely going to reach out to them. We've already reached out to some of them.
Dude, that is
out
so
of the
awesome.
box, make it new ideas. So
okay, so regional and local wrestling before WWF and all that.
Gulf Coast wrestling.
Yeah, every major, like every city, especially in the South, had their own local wrestling and own local wrestling heroes. And WWF was the one that really kind of like organized it and made it this what it is today kind of thing. Like Memphis was like the mecca, of Southern wrestling, and it went away. So you bought, or you're rebuilding that vein of the regional wrestler, man. Like the guy who lives down the street from you. Did you grow up loving wrestling?
Oh my God. Okay. So my grandfather was wrestling like in his time. So, the Gulf Coast
hold
wrestling.
on. You said was wrestling. Did he own a federation, a league?
The Gulf Coast wrestling, which was like Lee Fields, Bruno San Martino.
Yeah. So and it was on TV?
Well, no, with Bruno Sammartino, they just bring him in at times. So it's the same with Lou Thez and stuff. But Lee Fields was like the local champion. My grandfather was like the Vince McMahon. He was the hated promoter that everyone hated. And back then they didn't have guardrails. Real fast story. I'll say real fast.
So the audience could just get right on the mat.
They thought it was real, so they would try to stab you.
Whoa!
I'm serious. So real fast story. He hires this guy named Tuffy Tuesdale, who
great name,
who travels around to the local independent places with an alligator, and he wrestles the alligator for the place. So they packed out Ladd Stadium.
What year is this? This is the 80s?
This is like the late 50s, if I'm not mistaken. So packs out Ladd Stadium. The match is about to happen. They go back there. He's passed out. They try to wake him up. He's drunk and passed out. He won't wake up. My grandfather has to walk out to the ring and says, Tuffy Tuesdale will not be wrestling tonight.
To all those paying people.
Who all want their money back, who he's going to have to give, and he's going to lose his butt, right? So he's like trying to figure out what to do, and he's about to get stabbed because like these people are about to start a riot. Yeah, these people are about to start a riot. So he says he's not going to be wrestling tonight. So I'm going to wrestle the alligator.
Now the show must go on.
Right. So they bring the alligator out, they like unstrap his mouth or whatever, and he jumps on top of this thing, holding his mouth shut, and just rolls around with this gator for a few minutes in the ring, ultimately just jumps up, waves it off, and just goes running down the thing like, he was too scared, the gator was too strong, and the referee counts him out. So my grandfather lost to an alligator.
Wow.
And didn't have to give everyone a refund. The next day, the guy woke up and was like, I'm sorry, I'll do the next show, half price. And my grandfather was just like, get your gator and get out of here.
Yeah,
it was his gator. He didn't even tell him he wrestled it.
Wow. But so that's in your DNA, man.
Yeah, I was born into it.
So entrepreneurship is just part of what you do, and also you have that wrestling genome floating around in there, the showman.
I've watched it for like 30 years.
So what is the plan to get started with this new league? What's step one?
Step one was I've already done. I go down there Thursday.
Yeah.
So it's the CWL, the Combat Wrestling League. And we got a TV deal on the Gulf Coast CW.
Man, so you're already negotiating media.
Yep.
Now, when will the airing of the shows be?
We're looking to start around January.
But hold on, like they talked about like what night it would be, like late night on Saturday or something like that.
So it's probably going to be an early Saturday or Sunday thing because there's only so many time spots available.
Correct,
and we're looking for an hour-long show. If we only wanted a half an hour-long show.
Wow, you've already got your TV deal in the works. You got your production in the works. Now you have your list of possible stars and your wrestlers. You're going to work on that. Are you going to work to go scout some wrestlers maybe?
Yeah. We're definitely going to do that. We definitely want to bring in some attractions to work with our people to help elevate them, but then also an attraction to bring in more people. We plan to do a lot of charity events. I love doing charity stuff.
So you're engaging your community. So you're not just creating a business. You're not just creating entertainment. You're also saying, hey, we need the community. We want to be a part of the community. We'll help you do something and you'll help us grow.
Yep. Did you ever watch old ECW back in the day?
Oh, dude.
Okay.
Yes.
I named some of the audience people, okay? Old ECW, back in the day, in the very front center row, there was a guy that always wore a straw hat and a Hawaiian shirt.
Like he was his own character.
Okay?
Yeah.
I called him Straw Hat Guy.
Straw Hat Guy.
This is just teenage me, okay? There was also
big hair lady.
There was also a guy who had really long black hair and wore circular black glasses and a leather jacket. I called him Scary Guy.
Guy.
And Straw Hat Guy and Scary Guy were always next to each other, and they were at 80-90% of the shows that you watch. So in thinking about this, I'm like, if this is a local promotion that's running all the time, more than likely these people come to these shows all the time because they're involved in the characters and the storyline and in what's happening. And this is like a community type thing, right? So we decided that we're going to do a subscription-based platform where you can have a monthly payment that automatically hits your card every month.
Right.
And you'll get a discount as opposed to just buying. Plus, you'll secure down.
So it's not just buying a ticket.
Almost like season passes, right?
Very nice.
But instead of paying all at once, it'll be monthly, and we'll make them transferable. So let's say you sign up for it, but you can't come this month. Well, you can give it to your buddy.
That's your ticket. You can do what you want with your ticket. I love it.
So and we're also going to do something different with the talent. So we're going to allow the talent to sell tickets.
Oh, that's cool. That's skin in the game, baby. You sell 100 tickets. This is your take.
They get a bonus.
That's awesome.
And on top of it, at the end of the day, we know who our draw is.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Which is huge.
You also see who's putting in more of the time than just showing. Look, some people are stars and they're stars and they're going to draw people no matter what. But that up-and-coming person, that person wanting to get in, hey, this is a way for them to say, I can make this a side hustle.
Right.
This is a thing I'm doing. I can sell this on the side. I'm going to grow my brand while doing. That's brilliant, dude. I love that.
So we have a bunch of cool outside the box ideas. A lot of these like local people will have to make their own t-shirts and create their own stuff, and they have to lay all that money out and then hope for a return on investment. We're going to help them with that. My goal is for the wrestler to be able to say, here's my t-shirt and a ticket for a combo price, and then pre-sell it,
and then you help them create
and then we fulfill it whenever they show up. Therefore, they get a bonus off the ticket, they get a profit off of the shirts being sold, and they didn't have to do anything. They're not having to order their own shirts. They're not having to keep a stock, an inventory of it. It's kind of print on demand, and then we keep X in stock. You know what I mean?
What I love is, just like Gamers and Geeks, you've created an ecosystem for other people to help craft what it is.
Yeah.
This is what you're doing with your wrestling league as well. It's like, hey, here is the environment. Here's how we get started. Here's how you add to it and can also prosper from it. We can all grow together. But it also might become something different because there's other minds in there and other people with talents doing certain things. That's fantastic.
And it's also entertainment. So it's all under the same bubble.
The name of the league again is...
so it's Combat Wrestling League.
Combat Wrestling League. So tell me about your charity idea.
So we want to do between like 2 and 4 shows a year, and we want to do it for different charities. So, the idea would be combat against cancer, combat against COVID, or, insert anything that we're going to be doing.
So you're using the brand name and you're co-oping with the charity. That's great because you're expanding your brand. You're helping them out. It works great together. Your brain is definitely in the idea of like, how can we keep this going sustainable to do all the things we love, but profitable?
Which is why we're coming up with these ideas for not just sponsorships, because the sponsorships can be done monthly as well.
Would that be corporate sponsorships for the events?
Yeah,
that's
for
incredible.
TV. For TV,
right. You're right, because you're selling the hour.
Right, we can do so much more than than what others do, but also, it can be charged on a monthly basis. So we'll already have like a monthly budget coming in once we open up tickets and stuff. And just like the Saints or whatever, if you bought this way back in the day, you've got it at a major discount as opposed to it going back in. So as this grows and becomes more popular, you'll still be able to have it at those entry level prices that you initially committed to. So
those early fans get rewards.
Exactly.
You don't want to pay the season pass. You don't want to do the subscription. You can just pay for a ticket when you go to the event. But say someone says, man, what does $25 a month get me? What does $50 a month get me? And then you get these extra things. And like, if you're a wrestling fan, that's awesome.
We're going to sell the experience. So a lot of places will do like a 50-50 raffle. You go in there, you get a ticket, and then you get half of the pot, right? I can see the benefit for that, but I think that a fan is going to go.
Right, that's just money.
They're more exactly.
I mean, we're talking about money is great, but you're right.
They're more interested in the experience. So wow, I walked away with $50 as opposed to if you win, maybe you get a whole year worth of free passes. Or what I really want to do, so I went to a show recently and I got to go backstage, and it was the coolest thing ever because like everyone's getting ready. A couple of people were like practicing moves, some people were like taking pictures and stuff, and then the promoter went back there and they were like, hey, look, this match is first, this match is second, this match is third, and I was just like, wow, so this is what it's like.
So you got to peek behind the curtain.
And like I want to give that away, that experience away. You can't do it to a lot of people because, it'd gum it up back there. But, maybe 1 or 2 people once every show can get that VIP. So I think that's something we throw in that raffle, And so I just think like a lot of different outside the box things that make people. So I want to be basically the business mind behind it, but I want it ran by fans. Because I know that true diehard fans, I think that's the problem with WWE. No offense, Vince, I love you, you're my hero.
Right, but like, it's so big. It's
not ran by fans anymore. It's just ran by
a corporation.
So someone who just writes the thing, and they don't really care about what they're writing, or they like this character and not that character and stuff, And they're not trying to like maximize every aspect, Like you could tell back in the day when they were like,
they were hungry
during the Attitude Era. They had to be right, and it was so much better then. And that's what we want to do. Is we want to do that. ECW was great at it, except for the person running the bills. No offense, Paul Heyman, love you, but like wasn't too great at that aspect. Well, I'm good at that aspect, so I want to come up with a plan that financially makes sense to where we can, here's a base platform and here's how we can grow it, but on the flip side, do some really cool, fun, entertaining stuff.
I love your enthusiasm for this. I love the fact you says I'm in the entertainment business and I don't care if it's a Pokemon or video games or a full-on nostalgia wrestling night, which again in the 80s we would go to Expo Hall on some Friday nights because it was a really look, man. Wrestling is such a great, simple show. I'm not saying putting it on.
Yeah.
You choose the good guy versus the bad guy. You don't need to know the backstory, and the crowd is just as much a part of it than anything else in the whole place. It's you can be a part of the show by being there. That is really fun, man. Yeah. And I love the fact that local wrestling is going back on TV.
Yep.
One more time, the name of your new league and how can someone start to be able to hear about what's coming up?
So it's Combat Wrestling League. It is on Facebook under Combat Wrestling League. Right now, everything's just kind of on pause because I've just purchased it.
Is the page up where I can like it?
Yeah. It is still up, and you can shoot the page a message or whatnot. Cool. But as far as like booking talent and the first day and stuff, we know it's going to be around January. We don't know what the exact date is because we have to get that from the venue. We have to get that from the CW. So this has all been happening over the past 2.5 weeks. So you can go to Combat Wrestling League on Facebook. There's also a website, but it's probably fixing to go down.
Right.
We're going to redo it, bring it back up.
Man,
so
that is, I love this. This is great, man. This is so much fun. Scotty White has a toy store, and he said that he is selling someone a warm memory from their childhood.
Yep.
Well, me seeing local wrestling is a warm memory from my childhood, and I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah, man. And you know it's the same thing with gamers and geeks and stuff. You know, you're selling somebody happiness or entertainment, and sometimes it doesn't even have to be sold. It can just be given away for free, and those are the greatest moments in life. That's why I love entertainment, because entertainment allows you to not have to focus on life's hurdles sometimes and just focus on the good part.
We will keep everybody informed about this new league coming up. I can't wait for the first event. You said more awareness will be after January?
No, it'll probably happen in January. More awareness in probably October.
Whoa, so you're moving fast.
Yeah, we don't play.
Yeah, I'd love to see that Patreon subscription model is a really cool. What I love is you take with Gamers and Geeks and with this wrestling league, and you're taking something that's nostalgic, but bringing all these new tools in and new way of thinking to make the ecosystem to be where it can last and it can thrive.
Yep, that's exactly what we're trying to do.
Oh, man.
And give back, because I know that it's not just about the end of the day, my dollar. It's about that long-term dollar. If I lost money on this show, but you as a fan had a great time and you told 10 people, and the wrestlers were like, wow, you know, they had catering here, or, you know, I was put on TV, or, you know, I got a percentage of ticket sales or whatnot. So if the business itself lost $100, then what does that equate to if we gave out shirts and got good publicity and stuff? And that's what we did here. So, you know, we knew that the goal at the very least was to try to break even, right? But there was going to be days where that didn't happen, but we would promise a tournament where we were going to give away something. And even though not enough people showed up, we still gave that away. Which
I love of what you're saying is there has to be a built-in time to grow the company. You've got to build in your business model. Hey, man, we need 12 months where we're not constantly fighting. Can we keep doing this? We have to think of this as marketing along the way. We're doing our best to grow, but we're not going to see any money probably until 24 months down the road. That's what happens to restaurants a lot. You know, they spend all their money to get open, and they've got nothing reserve cash
to keep them going.
And you can't make good decisions. I love the fact that you're building that into that to say, hey, we've got to build this community, to build this brand, to have something to where it is much bigger than where we started and where we want to go. So at the end of every show, we do a cheers, Tommy. Cheers to the wild, crazy people who buy wrestling leagues and also finding quality time to trade for my dollars. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Do you have a cheers?
Cheers to wrestling fans, entertainment, and cheers to kayfabe and keeping it real.
Thanks, Tommy. We appreciate it. I can't wait to see what's coming.
Awesome.
Please be sure to subscribe to Cheers to Business podcast on iTunes or anywhere else that you get your podcast. Visit our Facebook and be sure to give us a like. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss, shoot us an email from the website cheerstobusiness.com.